After years of frustration, years trying to build his Cup Series career, get a firm foundation at a team, he has finally done it. Wait a second. This isn't the right hat. What are we doing with this? We need to get a proper hat for this. That's right, people. Daniel Suarez has won his first career race in the NASCAR Cup Series. So we got to get a sombrero on here. The first ever Mexican-born driver to win in the NASCAR Cup Series, and only the 5th driver born outside of the United States to win in the NASCAR Cup Series. Trackhouse's 3rd ever career win. And this is just who doesn't like Daniel Suarez? I mean, honestly, he's just a very likable guy. His whole career path, how he's gotten to where he is now, his whole story of his career, it's been so unique and interesting and I guess cool in a sense now that he's come back, I guess, in a sense to, he's a Cup winner now. Back in 2016, he won the Xfinity Series championship, and then he went to Joe Gibbs Racing after Carl Edwards shockingly retired. So Suarez, fresh off the Xfinity Series championship, last minute really got called up to the Cup Series for Joe Gibbs Racing of all teams, and he didn't do great there, never made the playoffs. He had some good runs, Pocono, Watkins Glen, I think he got some top 5s, led some laps at a couple of those tracks, but then he got booted out of his ride for Eric Jones. For, I believe, the 2019 season. And then he went to SHR in 2019, and he only got 1 season at SHR before he was booted out for Cole Custer. Then he spent 2020 with the Gaunt brothers, running I think it was a part-time schedule. And so, Daniel Suarez had not really found his ground yet, found his home in the Cup Series. And then Justin Marks, former NASCAR driver, decides to build a team, make a new team. And who's the driver he picks up? Daniel Suarez. So Daniel Suarez, not only is he getting himself his first career win, getting another win for Trackhouse, he was one of the first ones there at Trackhouse with Justin Marks at the very beginning. Of course, now we've seen it in less than 2 years, less than a year and a half, really. We have seen this team blow up. We've seen this team add Pitbull as a co-owner. We've seen it add a second car, buy out Chip Ganassi Racing, add Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain's gotten wins at COTA. He's gotten win at Talladega. Heck, Trackhouse Racing's won every road course this year at COTA and Sonoma. But Trackhouse Racing has looked phenomenal, not just at super speedways and road courses, at other tracks too. Chastain led a ton of laps at Vegas. He led a ton of laps in the 600. Suarez led a ton of laps in the 600. Daniel Suarez has led more laps this year than he has in any other year in his career. He's led, I think, over 200 laps after today. And today wasn't a fluke win either. He led over 40, 45 laps, I want to say. Had a fantastic car, really dominated that final stint of the race. This is a well-deserved win. And the Daniel Suarez story, it has been a roller coaster story, but it is so cool after all the trials and tribulations for Daniel Suarez to finally be on top of the NASCAR Cup Series and get himself a win. I mean, from, going straight to Joe Gibbs Racing, in the Cup Series, that's one of the top teams, championship caliber team, and everyone's like, wow, that's a great opportunity, but it doesn't work out for him. Then he goes to SHR, another championship caliber team. It doesn't work out. Spends a couple years or a year or so down in a not so great team. And then he goes to Trackhouse, establishes himself there, and has a chance to, build a career over a long-term contract, a long-term drive. And today, this year, really, he has proved his worth and has really kind of, nailed it. Who was it that said that? Marty Reed, I think was his name, as he once said, that hammering you hear is the sound of the nail of the final coffin. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, Daniel Suarez, everyone's super happy for him. Trackhouse super happy, of course. Justin Marks jumping inside the car to give Daniel Suarez a hug. Daniel Suarez, he smashed a pinata. So Suarez, a couple weeks ago, they asked him, when you win your first race, what do you want to do? You know how Chastain smashes the watermelons. What do you want to do? He gets a pinata and he freaking punches it. It was pretty cool. Trackhouse, it seems like a really cool team there. They kind of got the family vibe, when Chastain won his first race, everyone there was happy. Suarez was happy for him. They were celebrating together. And I just looked up at the TV, and Suarez, when he was celebrating, Chastain showed up, and he was celebrating there too with him. It's just cool to see all these celebrations and stuff because of how happy they are. That team, the driver, of course, but that whole team, they've had such a interesting journey, I guess. Trackhouse is a new team, and then Suarez, of course, we just talked about his path in his career, but just a really cool story to see play out. And today was the day of weird stories. It wasn't the greatest race. It wasn't a ton of passing or anything, but it was the front runners today that made things interesting. Usually when we go to a road course, we expect Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr. to dominate these races. Today, those guys led laps. Well, Truex did not, but Elliott and Larson did. But for the final stint of the race, the top three was Daniel Suarez, who ended up winning the race, Chris Buescher, and Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell, he's a good road racer. He's had some really good road races in his career before. So it's no shock to see him up near the front. Chris Buescher was a little bit of a surprise, though. He's never really been a great road racer in his career. RFK's never been great on the road courses. They were top three all day long. They led like 15 to 20 laps, maybe less, I don't know. But they were up in the top three all day, chasing down Suarez there at the end. But, the tires fell off. The car just wasn't as good. But it was such a fun race because we saw so many different guys up front. Suarez, as I said, Buescher, McDowell. We saw Harvick, who hasn't won in almost 60 races. He was up there in the top five. We saw Brad Keselowski. He's never been great at road courses, and we saw him up there in the top five for a bit with his RFK car. We saw Ross Chastain, as I said, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson. So we saw a lot of different faces out front, which kind of made it fun and kind of made it like a little bit, who's going to win this thing? We don't really know who's going to win it because the strategies, the different cars who are better on the short run versus the long run. And also, some of these guys, they've been in position before to win, but, it's either been a while like Chris Buescher, and his cup race was a fog-shortened race, but he's an Xfinity champion. He knows how to win. McDowell, his one win was at Daytona. Suarez is number one in the Cup Series. So, some of these guys, it's been a while since they have been in winning position. So it's always interesting to see how some of these guys react, or how they react under the pressure. We've seen guys choke before. We've seen guys almost choke before. But to see Daniel Suarez keep it calm and cool there at the end was pretty epic. But yes, Sonoma is such a long-time NASCAR road course. They brought back the chute on the backstretch. Thank God. I was never a fan of the carousel. I always loved the chute, but let's go through the results of the race. The reason I'm in here is because there's a wasp in my room, and I'm terrified of wasps, so I'm out here. I locked the wasp in the room, and so we're dealing with this room today. Let's go through the results of the race. So it is Daniel Suarez de Mexico getting himself his first career Cup victory, the second first career win this year, I believe. The first one was Austin Cindric at the Daytona 500. But yes, a first-time winner. We love first-time winners. And Daniel Suarez, as I said, such a feel-good story. His whole career, his whole story really has just been like ups and downs of his career. So really cool to see him get a win. And it's been coming for a long time, especially this year. He's been so good at so many racetracks. Led so many laps, as I said earlier. I thought the 600 was going to be it. He had one of the best cars. Was leading a ton of laps there, but just didn't work out. But glad it worked out today. I feel like everyone likes Daniel Suarez. I was stressed. Like, I'm not a Daniel Suarez fan per se, but like those last 10 laps, I was like, man, please don't blow it. Please don't blow it. Come on, Suarez. Like a Chris Buescher win would be cool and all because Prosper, Texas, woo. But come on, Suarez. But speaking of Chris Buescher, he finishes second, his best result with RFK. And it was at a road course, shockingly. He said that they did a tire test at Watkins Glen. It really helped them with their setup, their road course setup. You don't think of RFK or Chris Buescher as road course experts, but they were really good today. Led laps from the top 3 to 5 all day long. competing for the win. That's the kind of speed we need to see from RFK every week. But, obviously road courses are so much different, so we're probably not. But, both RFK drivers going to need a win probably to get in the playoffs. But Buescher coming off of COVID too. I didn't even think about that. But to come off of COVID and finish second, a week away from the car, from the team, really good result from him. Third place, another great result for someone. Michael McDowell with a third place finish. He was competitive all day long, just like these other two guys in front of him. Top 3, top 5, all day long. Qualified in the top 4, qualified on the second row with Buescher. And he's always been a good road course racer, but he's never been like a winning speed road course racer. Front row they've actually been decent this year, but they've been top 10 at road courses for the most part. Today, top 5, top 3. Late race restart, maybe they could have done something, but a third place finish, they're going to need a win to make the playoffs potentially. But yeah, really good day for the top 3, McDowell, Buescher, and of course Suarez. Fourth place, Kevin Harvick, someone else who desperately needed a good day. I think he was out of the playoffs coming into this race. If not, he was barely in. He had top 5 speed today. Harvick, I don't think of as a road racer, but his most recent road course win is at Sonoma in 2017. He was looking good all day long. He had a bad qualifying session, qualified in the 20s, I believe. But he comes all the way up into the top 5. He was in there for a good chunk of the day, had to rally back late from a poor pit stop to get 4th, but really good result for them. Their only concern is if there's 16 winners, they will miss the playoffs, unless they are one of those 16, of course. But yeah, that's a really good points day for them. I believe they got some stage points as well. Of course, stage points at road courses are always screwy just because of, stages and stage cautions. I don't think there should be stage cautions anywhere, but it really messes up the flow at the road courses. 5th place, Austin Cindric, a really good road course racer back in the Xfinity Series, even in the Cup Series. Led a good chunk of laps at COTA in 2021. Yeah, good solid top 5 for him. He had a poor qualifying effort just like Harvick, but was able to rally, get himself a top 5. That's got to be probably one of his best performances since the Daytona 500. They've had speed at some tracks, but, they blew a tire at Charlotte in the top 5. They blew, I don't know what they did, but they've had a couple good results, but it just hasn't all come together, and it seemed like this race they finally got themselves a result they deserved with a 5th place finish. 6th place, Ryan Blaney, that's correct. His Penske teammate, he had to move him a bit, but Blaney with a solid result up in the top 5 in points, so no shock to see him up there. He's a decent road racer, so to see him in the top 10 isn't too much of a shock, but Penske overall looked good today with Cindric, Blaney right there, Logano getting a stage win, even if it was through strategy. He still looked good today. So good day for Team Penske, good day for Blaney. 7th place, Ross Chastain, the teammate of the race winner, Daniel Suarez, a good result for him. Good points day for him as well. I believe he's chasing down Chase Elliott for the regular season title right now. Those are some valuable playoff points right there. But a really good day for him. He had some issues today. He almost ran over someone. I think it was like Kyle Busch or something, but I think he got bumped out of the way by Kyle Larson too. But other than that, good day. We saw how good he was at COTA this year and last year, so no shock to see him up at the front in the top 10 at a road course, but solid day for him. 8th place, Chase Elliott. Yeah, good start to the day. Was running second that whole first stage. They ended up getting a penalty for pitting outside of the box. That kind of just set them back the rest of the day after leading a bunch of laps. In stage 2, they got a penalty when they pitted late in the stage to try to get track position for that final stage. And it really just screwed them, pitting outside the box, having to start at the tail end. It was difficult to pass today, but, they had top 5 speed probably, but getting back in traffic just really screwed them, so that penalty really hurt them. But solid day for them trying to protect that regular season points lead. 9th place, William Byron. Yeah, pretty quiet day overall. I don't think I ever heard his name on the TV. Solid day for him. That's all I got. Top 10. 10th place, Brad Keselowski. Never been great at the road courses. He gets a top 10, a double top 10 for RFK. Good for them. 11th, Austin Dillon. 12th, Justin Haley. decent days for them. Yeah, I got the TV over here. I don't have my iPad or anything. Let's see who's in 13th here. It is Chase Briscoe. He's a decent road racer. Almost got himself a win at the Indy Road Course last year. Of course, he's got that win at Phoenix earlier in the year, so he's had a decent year. Decent-ish. 14th, Almirola. 15th, Larson dominated the opening stage. Cliff Daniels getting suspended along with a couple of pit crew members due to the right front falling off after a pit stop, loose wheel. Due to the policy, if you have a tire fall off, a wheel fall off, you get penalized. You get 4-race suspension for your crew chief and a couple of pit guys, the guys who put on the tires. So unfortunate result for them. They had a really good speed as well. 16th, Alex Bowman, the lowest finisher of the Hendrick Motorsports. And by the way, Hendrick Motorsports becoming the first team in NASCAR history to lead over 100,000 miles. Hendrick Motorsports has done it once again. They've broken some record. Greatest team of all time. 17th, Joey Logano. 18th, Kurt Busch. 19th, AJ Allmendinger. Oh my God, AJ. Scared the crap out of me there at the end. I was like, no caution, Daniel Suarez win. Please. AJ Allmendinger freaking spun with 2 to go, or a lap and a quarter to go. And I was about to lose my mind. But luckily, he got it back going, and Suarez won. 20th, Joey Hand had a great day. Dude, he was in the top 20 most of the day. He was 30th with 10 to go, and he rallies back to 20th. A Rick Ware car in the top 20 most of the day, off of raw speed. Impressive run for them. 21st, Cole Custer started up in the top 6 or 7, I believe. I mean, it was a wacky qualifying session yesterday. So, so they had a really good day. 22nd, Eric Jones spun out a couple times today. Not the greatest day for them. 23rd was Ty Dillon, his teammate. 24th, Todd Gilliland. 26th, or is that, what did we just say? 25th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 26th, Martin Truex Jr. Uncharacteristically horrible today. I don't think he was in the top 10 at any point. Bad day. Even with Cole Parham back. Bad day. 27th, Christopher Bell. Terrible day for... Dude, Gibbs sucked today. 28th, Harrison Burton. Rookie at Sonoma. Rookies never fare well at Sonoma. I mean, even Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, some of these guys who are champions now have never run well. 29th, Josh Bilicki. 30th, Kyle Busch. He won the trucks race yesterday. 31st, Denny Hill. I mean, Gibbs just, oof. 32nd, he got himself a stage point today. Cody Ware. What a legend. I know those Gibbs guys pitted late, but yikes. Big yikes there. 33rd, Heckert. 34th, LaJoy. 35th, Reddick. 36th, Bubba Wallace. I think that's it. Yeah. What a race, people. Yeah, I'm not used to this setup, so sorry. Yeah, what a race. What a day. Not the most epic race in terms of passing and racing and stuff, but it was a fun race, and we got a fun winner, too. Who doesn't like Daniel Suarez, guys? Come on. It's Daniel Suarez. What a career for him. Just his career path. Really cool to see him win. It's the first of many. I'm sure they'll be competing for more wins later this year, but now to get that first one's big. Trackhouse has 3 wins on the year. The multiple wins teams this year are Penske, Gibbs, Hendrick, and Trackhouse. No SHR up there. That's just shocking. But Trackhouse has been so good this year, so no shock to see Suarez win. Really happy for him. But if you like this video, you like NASCAR, subscribe to the channel. Like this video. We'll talk about NASCAR all the time. Next couple of weeks are kind of weird for my schedule, so we'll talk about that later. But have a great rest of your day, night, evening, wherever you are.